Greetings. This is your host, Wingnut. I've got something that's been brought to my attention, and I need to address this. And I don't feel like just posting a couple of links is going to do the trick because I'm going to spread this video around. Anyway, thanks to Noef Given. He made me aware a couple of days ago of this particular incident. This is coming from Driving and Vibing website. I find this kind of disconcerting and more than just a bit irritating. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on into this. Popular state park faces eminent domain takeover. A state park has closed its gates to the public, but government officials hope to reopen the site by enforcing eminent domain. This continuous battle between the state and a group of private developers is just getting started. Today, we're looking into the debate over Fairfield State Park and what it means for thousands of annual visitors. Let's dive in. Eminent domain takeover could save a popular Texas state park. A controversy in East Texas is boiling over regarding using eminent domain to condemn a beloved state park. In May 2023, Todd Interests, a Dallas-based developer, purchased 5,000 acres from Vistra Energy Corporation. This sale, which included Fairfield Lake State Park, closed for over $110 million. Now, I am going to dive into those two companies here in just a bit, but let's go ahead and move on through this article. Less than 2 weeks later, Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission voted unanimously to reclaim the property through eminent domain. They stated the park was a valuable asset and shouldn't be closed to the public. Keep in mind, though, the commission is comprised of unelected officials. Furthermore, Todd Interests hadn't engaged in meaningful negotiations or entertained their offers to back out of the deal. However, the buyers claim that the state is actively misleading the public. According to Todd Interests, the commission failed to include pertinent information regarding the transaction, including that Vistra had already declined the sale or to sell to the state. So there's a map of Fairfield, Texas, which is out south of Dallas. Anyway, we'll get into that a bit more as well. Misleading statements by the state government. According to a June 15th, 2023 press release, these are the misleading statements Todd Interest points out. First, Chairman Applin stated that the commission had offered to buy out the Todd family's contract with Vistra for $25 million, but Chairman Applin failed to disclose that the proposal was contingent upon Vistra Energy agreeing to sell the property to the commission, which Vistra declined to do. Chairman Applin also failed to disclose. Chairman Applin also failed to disclose that the Todd family had sent him a written counteroffer on May 23rd, a full week before the closing of the sale, but the commission never responded to it. The existence of that counteroffer was withheld from the public during the meeting of the commission on May 25th, if not also from the other commissioners. Second, the press release suggests that the Todd family would divert the lake's water and lower the water level, reducing the shoreline and wildlife. That is not true. The lake's world-class fishing and boating venue are at the center of Todd's development plan. Third, Executive Director Yaskowitz stated that the department, let me try that again. Third, Executive Director Yaskowitz stated that the department had intended to conduct realistic negotiations, you'll notice that's in quotes, but that, quote, Todd interests would not work, end quote, with them. Again, these statements are not true. The commissioners made a written offer to Vistra on June 1st to purchase the property, but the commissioners have made no such offer to Todd Industries, ever, and have not communicated with them since the closing. About Fairfield Lake State Park. Indigenous Americans occupied the land long before the modern developers set their sights on Fairfield Lake State Park. These native nations had rich ties to the area, hunting and fishing along its natural waterways. Later, European settlers and enslaved African Americans grew corn and cotton until the soil was depleted, and cattle farmers moved in. A now defunct power plant owned by Vistra built Fairfield Lake as a cooling reservoir, but allowed the state to lease the land for free for over 45 years. Although the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department never paid for the property's use, they put millions of dollars towards the maintenance over the years. Since 1976, locals have flocked to Fairfield Lake State Park to enjoy nature and get out on the water. In its heyday, you could enjoy 10 miles of maintained trails on foot, bike, or horseback. Other popular activities included swimming, fishing, and bird watching. But today the gates are closed while the legal battle surrounding its ownership rages on. Ownership. I was going to play this eminent domain battle video, but it's already getting explained in this whole article, so the video is really kind of inconsequential. I will include the link to this article in the description for the video. Anyway, so what is eminent domain? Eminent domain is a highly polarizing topic, particularly among property owners. It's the power of a governmental body to claim ownership of land at a fair price, whatever that is, under their consideration, for the benefit of the greater public. Sounds like communism to me. It happens when building new roads or railways, but laws regarding the practice have changed. Now, I just got to interject a thought here at this point. Why really is the government building roads and railways? I mean, private industry, that open market competitiveness. If a community wants roads, rather than relying on the government, and I know this might be a touchy subject for some folk, but personally, I think if you develop your local economy and you have local folk that are working together to maintain a road or roadway system or your local utilities, I mean, yeah, there's going to be some grid work that's going to be on a larger scale that may require some sort of business negotiations, but this is what drives an open market. Rather than stealing money out of your pocket because of time and breath and that you have spent trying to develop a life for yourself and your family, or those around you anyway. And then they're going to force upon you bridges that the local population may benefit from, but did they ask for it in the first place? Anyway, so yeah, eminent domain is a form of government overreach. Anyway, back to the article. Today, a state or federal government can use eminent domain to obtain properties deemed a, quote, developmental impediment, end quote, and taking it one step further. They now have the authority to claim that the land could potentially increase tax revenue. This seems to be the case regarding the eminent domain of Fairfield Lake State Park. Tax revenue. Taking money out of your pocket. That's theft. That's theft. While some places require the government to make an offer on the property before enforcing its seizures, others don't. The Fifth Amendment requires just compensation for property acquired this way. However, that amount is based on fair market value and doesn't necessarily consider actual purchase prices, sentimental value, or long-term income potential for existing property owners, like the high power transmission line that they're trying to run across the state of Missouri across a bunch of fields. Yeah, there's a bunch of farmers that are agitated about that. And we're talking about interfering with food crops just to run power from Illinois to Kansas, I think, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. It's pretty irritating. It's pretty damn irritating. Anyway, back to the article. How does Todd Interests plan to use Fairfield Lake State Park land? According to earlier online articles, Todd Interests purchased the land or purchased the state park and another 3,200 acres to build a lavish gated community. Okay, we're going to get to that. The property would include 400 homes and an 18-hole golf course. They would close the lake to the public, and only residents and members would have access. Named the Freestone Club, this exclusive community could net its developers upwards of $1 billion. They expect the homes to sell for $5 to $7 million each. Although TPWD and its commissioners asked Todd Interests to halt the demolition, the owners claim they received no formal notice of eminent domain on the state park or the rest of the property. As of publication, it appears that the developers are moving forward with their plans. What is the process for using eminent domain to save the state park? As we know, this process only applies to properties that will benefit the public. So, enforcing eminent domain to preserve a state park meets this basic requirement. Once the government establishes solid reasoning to acquire property, the next step is appraising it. After determining a price, the government will make the owners an offer. If both parties agree on the compensation, the government purchases the land and the deal closes. However, in cases such as Fairfield Lake State Park, it doesn't appear that Todd Interests will give in so quickly. Property owners can refuse a deal for two reasons. If the owners don't think the price is fair, they can get an independent appraisal and make a counteroffer. But if they object to the reason behind the seizure, the government must prove that it benefits the public. In either case, failure to reach an agreement can mean the case goes to court, where a judge will hear both sides. While landowners can come out on top, it's rare for a judge to deny eminent domain if the government has met the legal requirements. The future of Fairfield Lake State Park is uncertain. With new developments rapidly emerging, we can't say what will happen to Fairfield Lake. And while we hate to see the destruction of our developed scenic destinations, it's possible the state made some mistakes in the process of enforcing eminent domain on the state park. No matter the results, we'll be sure to keep you posted. So, Let's go ahead and go back up here. Now, today is June 21st, 2023. This article was last updated June 19th, 2023, and was originally released on June 16th, 2023. So, yeah, I'm running about 5 days behind on this one. But, yeah, there's a lot going on with that Trump indictment and stuff. So, distractions happen. Let's go ahead and take a quick look over here at Todd Interests. So I pulled them up on my Brave browser, and here's their homepage. What do we got here? Strategic, passionate, creative. Todd Interests is an award-winning U.S.-based real estate firm that discovers unique opportunities. We are intentional, calculated, and disciplined in our investment approach. We acquire and develop all traditional real estate types. All right, so I wanted to take a look at what kind of projects they got going on. So I go to their projects page and I see this quote here. My walk is a public one. My business is in the world, and I must mix in the assemblies of men, or quit the post which Providence seems to have assigned me. End quote. William Wilberforce. Now, I want you to notice how he capitalized Providence there, as if Providence is some sort of noun, maybe like a deity type. Anyway, so they got some national stuff in East Quarter and past projects. Yeah, they're out of Dallas, so they got a bunch of work here in Texas. And let's go over here and take a look at this. Let's take a look at this residential stuff. So the Marquee Residential. About Marquee Residential. Hang on, let me I apparently need to make a minor adjustment here real quick. Hang on just a moment. Yeah, sorry about this, folks, but things happen on the fly. All right, so about Marquee Residential. The Marquee is a thriving shopping destination in Phase 1, anchored by Target, Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Goods, Kohl's, and CVS, with recent new zoning allowing up to 600 residential units, which is Phase 2 of the project. Now, let's go back and take a quick look. Target, Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Goods, Kohl's, and CVS. Those are all companies that are deeply in bed with BlackRock and have fully subscribed to the ESG program. Just throwing that out there. All right, back to this about thing. Todd Interests is currently under construction with Ryan Homes, subsidiary of the publicly traded NVR Incorporated, on 108 single-family homes, with a future phase for an additional 71 single-family homes. Todd Interests has about 14 acres zoned and entitled for up to 400 multifamily units, and has contributed 5 acres within Phase 2 of the Marquee back to York County, which has selected the site as the county's first new elementary school in 25 years. The roughly 14-acre multifamily site presents the opportunity to develop a high barriers to entry market, strong ingress and egress to Highway 64, approximately 1 million square feet of retail, and no restrictions on materials for the multifamily project. No restrictions on materials for the multifamily project. So what? The multifamily project could be made out of bamboo and tar paper? I mean, I know that's an absurdity to go there, but anyway, here's their plan for their layout. It's looking like this is the retail area. I'm not exactly sure what we got going on. Oh, that must be the school area. And then this looks like all those single family homes. It's kind of like a, yeah, huh. Looks like one of them there 15-minute cities, doesn't it? Crazy, crazy. So I also took a quick peek into Vistra down there in Texas. You can see how their stock prices went. They're riding pretty high right now by comparison. I mean, back here when they had that energy crash, that winter before well, it looks like pretty much any winter they've got tough times going on. But let's go over here and take a look at Vistra. What all do they do? A tradition of excellence, a vision for success. Integrated as one of Vistra's core or integrity. Yeah, uh-huh. Integrity, huh? I'll tell you what. This is Google Maps here or Google Earth. Let's see what we can see on the map here as to what Vista did. It looks like we got some waste fields here, maybe. We got some runoff ponds going on. A lot of this has been scrubbed too, and I'll show you more on that here just in about 10 seconds. Right here's where the power plant apparently was, it appears. And this would be, because this would be a power station output grid, high power lines going out. But the reason I'm saying that I sincerely believe that this picture has been scrubbed is because when you get down here on the waste pile, you can see how this is all white where it's been erased, and you can see how it's pixelated, really, really horrible by comparison to maybe some of the other stuff. Well, maybe I'm just misreading it, but those shadows look like they've been. I don't know. I don't know. But this area looks like it's fairly contaminated. And of course that's going to run off into this lake, Fairfield Lake. We got this camping area right here. Now, I don't know, folks, but I got some issues with this. I've definitely got some issues with this deal. Um, the state was using the property on a free lease. They made a whole bunch of money off of it. They're trying to make a counter offer that's less than a quarter of the investment that was made between the new developer and the previous owner. It looks to me like they are moving towards a 15-minute city design. Um, but it also seems to me like the state's getting kind of greedy over this whole dadgum thing. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, they're still talking about using taxpayer money to buy property that they were making taxpayer money off of for free. Anyway, but yeah, the Trump indictment. Clown world, folks. Oh yeah. Besides the Trump indictment, there is the Hunter plea deal and all the rest of the clown show there in D.C. But there are real issues going on in the world. All right, folks. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for listening. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. And may God bless you and keep you safe. Goodbye.